I really do believe that, to be humility, kindness and love, you actually got to be the product. And I look at it, and if it's not in you, you can't give it, so it's got to be in you. And life's a journey. Life's a journey, and I think just travelling through life, you learn things, you go through certain things, and certain things cause you to learn and change. And I think it's your experience of life, going through life, learning, going through different situations, and just learning about yourself too.
Hi, welcome to the HKL podcast, sharing stories from the heart of humanity. Thank you so much, Norman, for coming.
You're welcome.
So grateful to share some time with you today and to explore a little bit about HKL, or humility, kindness and love.
I'm honoured to be here.
Thanks so much. We are here to, first of all, find out about your treasure. At HKL, we like to invite people to bring a treasure with them, and I'm intrigued. Tell us all about this, why this is your treasure.
The treasure that I bought was this lantern. The first time I ever went to Jamaica, I stayed with my grandmother. And when my grandmother lived in the country, there was no electric. They were putting electric in, but it didn't reach where she was living. So she depended on that lantern at night. And when we first got there, because we're so used to the electric running waters, and it was the fact of that in the night to see that lantern, we all depended on that lantern to get us around the house. So it was my grandmother's, and somehow it ended up at my mum's. My mum brought it back with her, and it was a couple of years on where my mum wasn't doing too well. She wasn't well, and was just moving her things around, and I come across it, and I remembered the lantern from Jamaica, and I asked her for it. And she says, yes, you can take it.
Oh.
So that's the reason why I bought this. It's just the memories of back home when I was in Jamaica for the very first time, meeting my grandmother and knowing that one thing lit up one room.
Wow, what a great story. I can only just imagine what the quality of the light coming from that and how magical and mysterious that must have felt.
Yeah, and the nicest thing about it, we all gathered round one table having a conversation, depending on that one light, that we could see each other.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
This light, because I think about humankind when we first discovered fire. What a difference that must have been.
So true. So true.
And our relationship between light and fire and warmth and heat, and because of course. Well, I'm saying, of course, I haven't been to Jamaica, so I don't know. But I imagine, obviously being Scottish, that it's warmer in Jamaica than it is here.
Definitely.
So it's not for heat that you have it's for the light.
It was for the light.
Yeah.
It was for the light.
So did you share lots of good stories around this?
Definitely, because there was nights that you would be on the veranda outside.
Nice. And
you just sit, and we'd all be just talking. No TV, no radio.
Wow.
We're just sitting down there, and we were all just talking and having a good time together. But that light always brought everybody together.
Nice. That light brought people together. What a beautiful phrase. So this kind of capacity to share stories, this is why we've got some lights here. We like to have a little bit of light in the centre, to kind of honour these old memories that are deep inside us.
Yes.
So that was your first time in Jamaica?
Yeah, that was my first time, yes.
And your grandmother, so how long had your grandmother and your ancestors been living in Jamaica for?
Well, our background is from Jamaica. All our ancestries are Jamaica. I think, back in the day where they came back from Africa slavery days and they ended up in Jamaica. So they built their lives from there. So they've been there like generations. Generations, we just go back.
What was that like? To go there?
It was great, it was hard at first, getting used to not having no running water, no electric, and just having just the bare necessities that to live off, and but we was always brought up to share things. We shared a bed together with them siblings, but I think it was just getting used to the fact of not having electric. But you didn't mind. because we were just all together. And we were, what, 16-year-olds? I was only 16 when I went.
Oh, you were 16?
I was only 16.
Right, okay. So that's a big change then when you're 16 to suddenly go to...
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. The first few days, you know, you took your time to settle in. But when you did settle, you know, you just got on with life. You started just enjoying the surroundings.
Was there anything that you learned about yourself from not having, you know, for not having all those kind of modern things that we take so much for granted now?
I think we appreciated each other's company.
Nice.
Because I think back home, everybody would be doing their own thing. But back in Jamaica, like I said myself, in the night, we'd all sit down together. And sometimes back home in England, we never used to do that.
Right.
And it's all generations there. So you'd have your grandmother, you'd have your aunties, you'd have your cousins, you know, and you'd all just sit down together. And, you know, it was a great time, great experience, but you never missed the fact of not having a TV. You never missed having a toilet in the house. Everything was separate. The kitchen was separate from the house. And to go and wash, you know, it was separate from the house. But I think it was that you just didn't mind because we were just having a good time together, to tell you the honest truth.
Nice. So so you went to Jamaica. Where did you come from?
We lived in Midlands.
In the Midlands?
In the Midlands, yeah.
In the UK?
UK, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That's where my parents, when they came from Jamaica, that's where they aborted and started to live and build their lives up in the West Midlands.
Oh, okay. And what was that? Do you know what that was like for them?
I know it was hard for them at the start. When you sit back down and they tell you some of the stories for when they first coming into the country, you know, they dealt with a lot of racism and trying to find work. But, you know, they pushed through. They pushed through. I think it brought that community together because they had to work together to survive and they depended on each other. You know, there were the times where they would rent homes and it would be like a family would be in each bedroom. So it could be a 3-bedroom house, but in each room there'll be a different family in that room.
Wow.
And that's how they kind of survived, looked out for each other.
Wow.
Till people could kind of afford to get their own properties.
How long ago was that?
Well, you'd be going back into the 1960s. 60 years. Could be around 1962, going onwards.
So what was that like being so you were brought up in the Midlands? I mean, I can tell a little bit by your accent.
Yeah, the old Brummie accents.
What was that like when you were little?
I think you started to more understand I remember when we first moved into a neighbourhood and we were the first black family on the block.
Okay.
Yeah, we were the first black family on the block and we was told that we could not go. We had to stay in our own little area, in our backyard, where everybody would play out the front or play. But it's the fact that people didn't quite understand or people were acceptive of, you know, us living in that area. But slowly it changed because more like black families started to move in and people just started to come, you know, we just started to come together, our children. And it started with the kids. We were all playing together. And
Nice.
And I think that's what broke that pattern. Because as children, we just all started to play. We didn't see no colour.
Exactly.
We didn't see no colour. Whether adults saw colour, but as children, we didn't see no colour.
That's lovely. That's beautiful. So the wisdom of children, their innocence.
Definitely.
This is so interesting, isn't it? How we can be with kids and we think we're the adults and we know everything, but they can teach us so much.
So much.
And to see the world through totally different eyes.
Oh, definitely. And sometimes, you know, if you sit down and listen to children, as you say, we can learn so much. We can learn so much. And I think that kind of broke the ice around in the area that we lived because we started to play together and then we started to be in and out of each other's homes.
Nice. That's nice. What a beautiful image. What do you remember most from school? School
was good.
Yeah?
School was good because by then, like I said, we were all children.
Yeah.
So in school, we were kids having fun, playing together.
Great.
No, and again, there was just no colour. We're just all kids.
Nice.
We were all just kids playing together. So school times were absolutely brilliant. You never looked at racism. You never saw racism at school. We were all one.
Great.
We were all one.
That's so heartening to hear that because I hear so many stories nowadays where, and I find it, to be honest, quite astonishing that it exists to the extent that it does. I mean, how many years ago were you talking about when you were at school?
Without
getting into too much detail.
Well, we go back into the 1975, 76 going onwards.
Yeah.
And those days, we ran track and field, played football. So that was all teamwork.
Nice.
And teamwork brought every colour together.
Nice, of course.
So it was a good barrier and a good learning curve.
And do you think what do you think is the difference between then and now? Can you see a difference?
I think we're more understandable. I think our generation is growing up and we understand our fellow man. We don't look at colour, and there's a lot of more integrated relationships. So that wall has kind of broken down.
So we're evolving. You think
we are? I definitely are.
Evolving?
We definitely are.
Lovely.
We definitely are.
And do you see examples of humility, or rather, what examples do you see of humility, kindness, and love in your life that you see manifesting now?
And even if we look at it now, what's manifesting now, even if you look into the national health, hospitals, you've got nurses from different backgrounds looking after, and they're looking after and their patients. And you can see cultures coming together, caring, and that's humility, kindness, and that's love.
I quite agree. Some of my friends recently have been very ill for lots of different reasons, and every time I go into a hospital, I meet I think of them as angels.
Yeah. So that barrier's been broken down. I look at that barrier's been broken down. If we look in every sector of life, where all cultures are working together, and to get something done, we've got to come together.
Yeah, we do. It's so important. So what are the ways that you find that you can express humility, kindness, and love in your life? I
think you've got to be it.
Okay.
I really do believe that, to be humility, kindness, and love, you actually got to be the product.
Nice.
You've got to. And I look at it, and if it's not in you, you can't give it. So it's got to be in you, and that's why I bought the lamp, because you've got to be transparent.
Nice.
You've got to be transparent. I looked at the lamp, and why I like the lamp is the fact is that you'd have to put oil in the lamp, so that they've got to see that humility, they've got to see that kindness, and they've got to see that love within you.
So who sees that in you then? Who are the people that see that in you?
It's got to be who we're around, who we integrate with, your family, your friends, your work colleagues. It's anywhere you go.
And do you see it a lot around you as well?
Oh yes, definitely.
Nice.
You identify it. You
identify it.
You can identify it.
That's beautiful. What do you mean? That sounds a real gift. How do you identify it? How does that work?
And sometimes it's when you're around people, how people speak, how people react. You just connect, and I believe it is a kind of connection. When somebody gives you that, you connect to it because you are it.
Do you look for that in people? You know how some people say, "Well, you have to earn my trust," or you have to. How do you approach people? Is that something that you?
And I don't think it's something that I look for.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's something, because I think I believe it's in all of us.
Nice.
Sometimes you just have to say the right thing to a person to get that, to hear that humility come out of a person, or that kindness, that love. It's just how you treat a person. Okay. We can draw it out of each other.
Nice. So what do you find are some of the best ways that you've experienced to draw out of other people?
I think it's just being there for people when people are going through hard times, difficult times, just being there, being a good support, being a good friend, and not judging nobody, don't have that judgmental mind.
The judgmental mind. I think it's something that all of us know a little bit of that.
Oh, definitely.
And it's interesting you mentioned about kids earlier, how there's that innocence.
That's right.
And then we get taught, no matter what society, whoever our parents might be, whatever schools, or how have you allowed some kind of transition? I don't know if that's the right word, but have you noticed a transition in your life of this mind that you call the judgmental mind?
Yeah. I think it's as we go through life's a journey. Life's a journey, and I think just traveling through life, you learn things, you go through certain things, and certain things cause you to learn and change. And I think it's your experience of life, going through life, learning, going through different situations, and just learning about yourself too.
Are there any particular ones that you can think of that would be worth sharing?
I think the biggest one was for me, as I talked about, like our parents. My father, he wasn't a man that really, back in those days, the man was tough. Tough man, he wasn't an emotional man. Yeah, he wasn't a man that showed much emotion. He wasn't a man that really played with us. He worked, paid the bills, went, and that was it. And that was the only kind of reaction that we kind of had with our dad is when he used to cut our hair, and that was the closest we ever got to our dad.
Right.
So he never told us that he loved us, and I think that he just didn't know how to, because back when they came into this country, he didn't know his own father. He knew his father when he left Jamaica. So he came to England and then he had a family, and not knowing how, I just believe that he just did not know how to express love to us.
So that's a really interesting. I don't think you're the only man of a certain age that experienced this. No matter where you live in the world, I think men are beginning to evolve and understand how to be able to do this. But so are you saying that your father didn't know his father?
He didn't know his father till he left Jamaica to come to England.
Oh, so what was happening there? How did he not?
I think it was just a fact of his father had another family.
Okay.
Yeah, he had another family, and they lived in a different part of Jamaica too.
Okay.
So I think he was raised by his mother. His mother raised her on her own.
Interesting. So how could he? How could he know how to be a father if he hadn't said someone?
That's right.
Interesting.
And it was something that we, growing older, we started to understand, because we started to resent him. Well, I did.
Okay.
I started to grow up to resent him because he never showed us love. Never told us that he loved us or cared. It was only when he took sick and he was terminal, and we just watched him fade away. And I remember there was one time in that hospital bed where that was the very first time I heard him tell us that he loved us. Yeah, that was the first time. And I never forget leaving the hospital. There was me and my sister. And I tell you the truth, I cried. To know that we've come to that stage, and that's the first time I've ever heard you tell us that you love us. And I think that's when I started to know who my father was. And we didn't have long, because he passed away months after.
Did your conversations or your relationship change after that moment?
It caused me to change.
Interesting. It caused you to change.
It caused me to change.
Okay.
And I think as I grew up later on in life and then going into a relationship, I remember explaining to my girlfriend, my wife now, is that, look, I told her my background, but I'm not used to holding hands, hugging, because I wasn't brought up that way.
Yeah.
And it's only when I started having my own children, I said I could not make that pattern follow me into the next generation. So I learned to tell my children with my wife's help, I love them. When my children were born, always tell them that I love them, always done things with my children, take time out and spend quality time with them.
Nice. That's quite a transition. That's quite a journey.
Yeah.
To go to have resentfulness in one's heart, to then realize how important it is to be able to express the truth.
Yeah.
When we talk about HKL, the truth of who we are, the fact that we are love.
Yes.
And to be able to just express it. What a different environment for us to bring our children up.
Oh, definitely. And that's why I'm grateful for the journey, because I've learnt to be a better man and to tap into my own feelings.
Yes.
And express my own feelings.
Yeah, I work with a charity called the Band of Brothers, and that's got a lot to do with older men sharing with younger men who might not have a father figure in their lives. How to be able to express emotions, because even now there are a lot of young men who don't know how to express their emotions, and they don't have the emotional intelligence that you've obviously learned. Is there anything more about that emotional intelligence, or for younger men and women, that you think is important?
Sometimes I think we just have to chip away at that hard shell.
Oh, okay.
I don't believe it's in there. I believe everybody carries that seed.
Nice.
And sometimes it's buried somewhere, but sometimes it just needs chipping away. It's just like I said, you plant a seed in the ground, but it takes time. It grows down first before it comes up.
Yeah.
And sometimes life brings you on that journey where it brings you down.
Yes.
But when you hit that place, something starts to grow back up, and you come back stronger.
Now, when you're hitting, it's nice to be able to look at that in retrospect. But when you're in that place, I'm thinking about, when you're in that, you talked about resentful, or when you're the judgment mind, or whatever it might be. What would you say to yourself now knowing all these things, or to somebody else that might be in that place? What might you say to them that might be of help?
I'd say it takes time. It takes time and to learn. I believe every experience that we go through, there's a lesson in it. There's a lesson in it for your journey. And it helps you get to the place where you need to be.
Nice. So when it's really hurting, how can you bear, I don't know if that's the right word, but how can you be with that? When things are really difficult.
And I think it's understanding it. It's understanding it, and where it comes from, where the pain comes from, because it always comes from somewhere. But you have to understand it. When you understand it, you can know how to deal with it.
That's interesting. That word, understand. You're talking about the seed.
That's right.
It goes down.
That's
right.
very
interesting. It does, isn't it? Seed. It goes down first.
That's right.
Creates strong roots.
That's right.
And we talk about this, don't we? Our roots.
Yes.
And of course, those, as you've talked about, those roots might have been challenging.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. Very much so. It makes me who I am today. That experience, it's made me who I am today. It opens up that side to you, that humility, that kindness, love. That's my survival.
That's beautiful. Your survival tools.
My survival tools.
That's a lovely way to describe HKL. These are my survival tools.
Oh, definitely.
Beautiful.
Definitely.
Well, we've got these cards here, which we offer to everybody who comes on the podcast. It's a bit like, it's like a little message from the universe to see what might be appropriate. Can I invite you to take one card? Yeah, random. Thanks. And then if you can read it out, that'd be great. Okay. So if you turn it over so you can see that's it. Yeah, that's
okay.
Nice.
You are someone who makes others feel valued.
You are someone
that makes others feel valued.
Beautiful.
That's an excellent statement.
So is that something that you can own, that you know that that's the truth?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so who are these people?
It's who I meet.
Okay.
Who I meet, my family, my friends, my church congregation.
Oh.
Anybody that I meet, everybody's valuable.
So your church congregation, who are these people?
I'm a minister.
Okay.
I'm a minister, and we serve the community in Smethwick Dudley Road.
Okay.
So I'm part of an organisation, and we're just there to help. And my job is to serve. And I think this card is so right.
Nice.
Who you meet, they are valuable. They are they're treasures.
They're treasures.
They're treasures.
Oh, beautiful! What a great way to look at life. Thanks. And when did that begin?
I was brought up because mum was a Christian, so we were so we had that background where as young children we had no choice, we had to go to church.
So this is really part of your roots.
That's right. Yes, yeah. We had to go to church when we reached a certain age, maybe 16.
Yeah.
My other siblings made up their mind, so that's what I was going to do. Like when I reached 16, my plan was to go and just have fun, do what my brothers were doing. go and join a football team or something like that. But when I reached 16, I think I done a 360. Instead of running away from the church, I got even deeper.
Now that's fascinating, because you talked about going to Jamaica when you were 16.
That's right.
So is there any connection between the two moments?
I think it was dealing with the loss of Dad.
Okay.
Yeah, all that was in the loss of Dad. I just left school when my father passed.
Okay.
So, and you're going into a world and you just didn't know what you was going to do. Mm. And it became my safety net. It became my safety net, a secure place.
And did the passing of your father, well, I don't know, how did that evoke deep questions or about what is life, or how did that?
Maybe at 16, you just didn't understand.
No.
I tell you the truth, I didn't understand.
No.
I didn't. All I knew is that he had gone.
Yeah.
And it was more or less, Mum was still around. Mm. And Mum was the one that more or less was more affectionate with us. So that was our safety net, that security.
Nice.
That was our security. So it was just more or less trying to get on with life.
So going to, I don't know how this works. So do you train to be a minister? Did you go to a college or?
Yes, we trained. We're trained for so many years. Then you move. Well, you didn't go to a ministry straight away. You worked in different areas. Okay. Worked as a youth leader, and then as we got older, I got moved into doing a deacon in the church.
A deacon?
A deacon, yeah.
What's a deacon?
A deacon kind of, he assists the minister. So any duties that need to be done in church, you just assist the minister getting things organised and sorted out and programmes done.
So I'm curious, very curious, because I don't know anything about this. So what's the training? What do you?
And the nice thing about it's life training.
Life training.
Yeah, life training. You can do a lot of things being studied and reading a book, but dealing with the actual people.
Yes.
That's the training. Hands-on training with the people, with the congregation, when situations rise, and you deal with a lot of things with bereavements. We got into counselling, married counselling, youth counselling, talking with the youth. Mm-hmm. So that is a lot of training. That was hands-on, dealing actually with the people. Right. Some things, there's a book can tell you so much, but life experience tells you much more.
So it was very much learning on the job.
Learning on the job, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think, have you noticed, a kind of privileged position to be this intimate with so many different people? Have you seen what's the same and what's different? What have you noticed from when you started? Is there kind of like a golden thread of how humanity is? And have you noticed what's changing?
As I said to myself, I think it's just opened it up more to you. And I think even being a part of the conference and going to the conferences, I think you learn more about yourself. And that you could more help other people. That humility, that kindness. What you tend to find, you put yourself in their shoes.
Okay, you put yourself in their shoes.
That's right.
How do you do that?
And sometimes some of the people that you deal with, if they've been certain for experience, and if you've faced those kind of experiences, it's the fact of like, I started to do ministry. I started to do like funerals. I was, doing funeral services. I just done them. I was just doing by the book. But until my mum died, it was completely different. It was completely different. You understood more what the people were going through, and I call it in church the front row.
The front row. The
front row, and I always said we all will have that experience of sitting on the front row, and I think that's how I came across HKL, and it was preparing me with Mum's loss and dealing with the grief after.
When did that happen?
That was in 2021. And it was, I think it was the hardest part of my life's journey. Hardest part. I learned things about myself that I didn't think I thought I was strong enough to deal with. It did break me. It did break me.
When you say it broke you?
And I think it was trying to deal with grief. It was different when Dad died. I was so young and didn't understand much. But you grew up and you had a bit more of understanding, and had the relationship that I had with my mum. You know, the relationship I had with my mum. You could see her deteriorating, but it was kind of holding on and not accepting what was happening. And then it had to come to a point where humility, kindness, and love, I had to let her go. You know, I couldn't keep her here for my own self, because I wanted her here. You know, it was her time, and you know, it come to a point in that situation where I had to turn around and say, "Mom, go. Mom, go. We're gonna be all right."
Okay.
That was the biggest lesson: humility, kindness, and love I ever learned.
Were you with her when she passed?
Yes. Yeah.
How was that?
Very hard. Yeah, very hard. I had to take a sabbatical after.
Yeah.
I had to take a sabbatical after. Yeah, it was hard to process. It was hard to process.
The love that we're gifted with. When someone who's so dear to us passes, it allows us to, in terms of vulnerability.
Yes.
Certainly from my experience, anyway. Grief is grief and death are, you know, you've been very open. I really appreciate that. But grief and death are not something that we talk about very much.
No.
And so we don't get a lot of preparation.
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. At all. But you learn so much from it, and you learn a lot about yourself. You know, I learned so much about myself. Just going through that, and it's had made me be a better person, and it made you love more. It made you be more humility. It showed you more kindness. We've only got a short time, and you want to just give as much as you can to as many people as you can.
Absolutely. I love that phrase, the front row. We're all going to be there. That's a great way to describe the truth of the minute you're born, you're going to be sitting in that front row.
So true. And that life's journey. That life's journey.
Is there anything that you would be able to say to somebody who's sat in the front row, who's in that place, you know, looking back at the grieving process that you were in? Is there any words that you could share that might have some kind of comfort or understanding, as you talked about earlier?
Yeah, I'd think one thing I'd turn around and say to the person is that memories, all those memories, all those good times that you spent together, sometimes you just have to sit back and reflect, and it's an honour just to have that time with that person, you know, and all that you've learned, you sow it into the next generation. You prepare the next generation. Because like I said, everything we go through is a learning curve.
I like to think of, you know, you brought this beautiful lamp in. I love how you talked about it being transparent.
Yeah.
And how that light, you know, we think about that first fire. We talk about our ancestors, don't we? You've talked about your ancestors in Jamaica, you know. I've got ancestors from Scotland. And they go way back. And when you think about it, it's an unbroken. So that understanding that we have is so deep in our bodies. You know, we talk about HKL being something that's just the truth of who we are. It's naturally who we are. What do you think is the, you know, if you think about, you know, you talked about being with your grandmother and this lamp. What can we bring from that understanding when we're all sitting around a lamp or a fire and we're facing each other and we're sharing stories and we're now sitting around looking at our phones? You know, we're not even watching the one screen anymore. We're all watching our own little. What is it that we can? How can we bring more humility, kindness, and love when we're now in a very different reality?
I think the only way we can beat that is what we have in us. The phone can never replace that. Social media can never take that away, or TikTok. Whatever we possess inside us. And I believe that if we can sit and we can talk, sooner or later, somebody will put down the phone and somebody will start having a conversation. Because I believe that HKL within us will start to light up a room.
Nice.
And the light gets attraction.
Nice. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So we can radiate this light.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And do you think when you do that, have you found that when you do that, that then allows people to lighten up as well?
Yes, it does. It does. Even with my own children, we do a thing where we call it family night. And we do something as a family. Somebody's got to pick something, and we all do it as a family.
Oh, nice.
And it's just trying to train them or showing them a way of bringing us all together, and that's the only way. You know, if we can sit down with our children and talk with our children, you know, they will listen.
So, have you ever sat round a table with your children with this lamp lit?
I haven't, you know, I've got this lamp and I put it on the top shelf because I said I didn't want them breaking it.
Ah, okay.
But it's visible.
Nice.
It's a place that they can see it and they know where it's from.
Have they ever experienced it lit?
No, they haven't, you know. And I think I've got to do that with my granddaughter.
Oh, lovely. How old's your granddaughter?
She's only 1.5.
Oh, lovely.
1.5.
I think 1.5 to 3 is such a special time.
Yes.
And the first time these little ones see a fire, you know, or a light, they're fascinated, aren't they?
That's so true.
It goes, but this is what I'm saying. Our ancestors goes way back.
Yes.
You know, this attraction to light and fire.
Yes.
Well, I'd like to think that there'll be one day when you're sitting around with your kids and your granddaughter.
That's right.
With this lamp, that would be a wonderful moment to hear what stories are shared.
Oh, definitely. And the fact is that then you can tell her the history of where the lamps come from.
Nice. A magic lamp.
Yes, yeah.
Beautiful. Is there anything else about this lamp you'd like to share?
You know, one thing I love about it is the actual detail and the pattern.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I look at it like that. We all have got a detail to us and we've all got a pattern to us.
Nice.
And sometimes when the lamp lit, it radiates around the room.
Nice. That's a beautiful image. HKL, humility, kindness, and love. That's what we're offering. That's what we're talking about,
yes.
HKL.
Yes.
I wonder, is there something else that you would add to this? So we've got humility, kindness, and love. If there was one thing, another human virtue or a core value that you would add to this, what might it be?
It gives you peace.
Peace. So you would add peace.
I'd add peace.
Nice. Tell me more about peace.
I think the three words coming together, it just makes you feel one, comfortable and at peace.
At peace.
Because nobody's judging you and nobody's looking at you different. Everybody looks at you exactly how they see themselves, and that's peaceful.
Nice. So radiating peace is part of HKL.
I believe so. With all what I see that's happening in the world, we need more humility. We need to show more kindness, and we need to show more love.
We really do.
And that will bring about peace.
Thank you so much, Norman.
You're welcome. Welcome for your time.
What a beautiful gift to be with you and for you to share your treasure. Thank you so much.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me here. Thank you for having me here. A pleasure.
Thanks.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much for joining us on this HKL podcast. Please remember to subscribe or like, and we hope to see you again sometime soon. Thank you. Take care. Bye.